Good evening, all. I'm Aditi Lamba with the Tuesday night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin the episode taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world has surpassed 217 million cases of COVID-19 with more than 4 million deaths. Situation here in the United States is quite dire in certain parts, with COVID-19 cases increasing across unvaccinated communities. We are at more than 39 million cases of the coronavirus and at least 639,000 deaths. Many states are already reporting more COVID-19 related deaths than last year as the Delta variant continues to spread. The focus again remains on getting more people vaccinated. On Afghanistan, America's longest war of 20 years has ended. The last US military planes left Afghanistan and the country now faces a new era under the Taliban rule with much uncertainty. More than 122,000 people have been evacuated from Kabul. However, officials have acknowledged that they were not able to get everyone out and those efforts will still continue. How do you feel about the United States ending its longest war? Send us your comments on events@itvgold.com. With that, let's now take a look at the headlines coming in, covering much on COVID-19 updates and South Asian culture. Here are the headlines. Florida withholds school funds on battle over mask mandates, Dr. Anupama Gotimukula Api. CDC supports full licensing of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, Dr. Tushar Patel, New Jersey. Umyadham Temple hosts Srimad Bhagavad Saptah, Edison, New Jersey. A lot more on the other side of the break. Stay with us on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Aditi Lama and this is Vision of Asia, Tuesday night episode of South Asian News. On coronavirus updates and more, the Biden administration is now investigating 5 states that have banned school districts from mandating masks. This ban on mask mandates has become one of the biggest issues concerning health experts nationwide. States such as Florida and others in the South have seen their governors prevent local governments and school districts from mandating masks. In fact, the Florida Department of Education has withheld its funds from 2 school districts that made masks mandatory in classrooms this fall, defying Florida Governor DeSantis' executive order that barred local officials from implementing such mandates. Proponents of mask mandates, especially the medical community of this country, have stated that COVID-19 protocols such as mask wearing and social distancing are necessary to mitigate the pandemic as cases rise in areas with lower vaccination rates. On this and much more, we now have our conversation with API President Dr. Anupama Gotimukula. Here is Dr. Gotimukula.
To protect yourself and protect others around you, I think common sense mask should be really very much needed right now.
Right, and not to forget, Doctor, a lot of these children, under the age of 12 are not even eligible for the vaccine. So that's basically their only form of protection. On vaccines, I have a couple of questions, Doctor. The FDA has fully approved Pfizer. What does it mean to get a full approval? And, a lot of vaccine mandates have been coming through it. So do you think it will push those mandates even more in like companies and other organizations?
Right, yes. So FDA approval of the vaccine is a very good thing. Dr. Vivek Murthy, the Surgeon General, has announced it last week. And I think once it is FDA approved, because FDA approval takes a lot of steps to get that medication or drug or vaccine, so that will push more and more people to take the vaccine now. So hopefully that step will move up the vaccination rate now.
Right. More on vaccines, doctor. We are obviously hearing the news on the third dose, the booster shot, they're calling it, of the COVID-19 vaccine. We're hearing that they're saying anywhere from 6 to 8 months after the initial, like, second dose of the vaccine, you need to get another dose. How are you looking at this? Are we in urgent need of getting this third dose right now? Are you concerned about that?
So the reason why we should take the booster is 6 to 8 months after, looking at the data in Israel, that's how we came up with that, like everybody should get a booster dose after 6 to 8 months. So we initiated with the immunocompromised population because they are the most vulnerable. So that way we started that. But I think September 20th onwards, we have everyone can take the booster dose. So why do we need booster dose? I think even the mildest infection I have, and I can spread the virus easily to others. So probably the booster dose will not only help me, myself, and also maybe it reduces the spread rate. Also, the more we get vaccinated, I think the less the variants will be rotating around us. So this will not prolong. So the most important message I want to give is to everybody, take the booster dose. The booster is helping to boost the immunity, not only the immunity, the power in your body to fight the virus. So hopefully the virus will become less virulent that way and we can conquer this disease.
Let me ask you something, doctor. What is your biggest fear, your biggest worry right now when you are looking at the trend of cases and deaths and the vaccination rates that are still trying to pick up?
My worry, is always to those who are not taking the vaccine. I really worry about them because they are still ignorance. I think it's all ignorance, but this is science has proved now. If you look at the data now, the number of hospitalizations in unvaccinated versus vaccinated, only 2% hospitalized are vaccinated, rest are all unvaccinated. That data is enough to say that vaccine is protecting us against the Delta variant. What else science do we need to convince the population? So I think vaccine. This is the answer we give as physicians. Get vaccinated and protect yourself. Not only protect yourself, but also protect others too.
Let's now take a look at the Umayadham Temple in Edison, New Jersey. A spiritual center and a religious one, Sri Umayadham Temple, Edison, has been hosting many cultural and religious events to bring together the Hindu community on spirituality and harmony, especially during these tough times in the coronavirus pandemic. The temple is an all-welcoming and embracing center for many to learn about Hinduism and the history of Shri Ma Umaya, the goddess of the universe and the Kul Devi of the Karwa Patidar community. On this and much more, recently the Umayadham Temple hosted Srimad Bhagavad Sapta. The religious event saw in attendance and in support ITV Gold's chairman Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Here is the story.
श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्षः कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ મુક્ત્યર્થમ ભવસાગરે. સનાતન ધર્મના તમામ શાસ્ત્રોએ મુક્તિના માર્ગ બતાવ્યા, ભક્તિના માર્ગ બતાવ્યા, પણ એક ભાગવત શાસ્ત્ર એવું મળ્યું કે જેણે એકરારપૂર્વક કહ્યું કે તું મારી શરણમાં આવ, હું તને મુક્તિ અપાવીશ. 12 સ્કંધની આ ભગવાન શ્રી કૃષ્ણના વિશેષ ચરિતામૃતની કથા અને 24 અવતારની આ દિવ્ય ગાથાના માધ્યમથી પરીક્ષિત જેવા અનેક શ્રોતાઓને ભગવાન સુલભ કરાવી આપ્યા. સુખદેવજી જેવા પરમ ગુરુનું સાનિધ્ય, સંતોના આશીર્વાદ અને સત્સંગના માધ્યમે પાપી જીવ પરમાત્માને પામી શકે એવું જો કોઈ સરળ તત્વ અને સાધન હોય તો શ્રીમદ ભાગવત ઉમિયાધામ એડિસનના આ દિવ્ય મંદિરમાં ભગવાનની આ દિવ્ય કથાનું આયોજન શ્રાવણ માસમાં કરવામાં આવ્યું. ખૂબ મોટી સંખ્યામાં ભક્તોએ ઉત્સાહથી ભાગ લીધો. ચાલુ દિવસોમાં પણ 200 કરતાં વધારેની સંખ્યામાં ભક્તોએ ઉપસ્થિત રહી એક સેશન સાંજના 4 થી 7 ચાલતી આ ભગવાનની ભાગવતી ગાથામાં સૌએ અવગાહન કર્યું અને મોટી સંખ્યામાં શ્રોતાઓ, સ્પોન્સરો અને ભક્તોએ એનો લાભ લઈ ખૂબ ઉત્સાહ અને આનંદથી શ્રીમદ ભાગવતને ખૂબ માણ્યું છે. વારંવાર જેને સાંભળતા આપણા કર્ણ અને કે હૃદયને સંતોષ ન થાય એવી ભગવાનની દિવ્ય ગાથા અવિરત વહ્યા કરો. એના માધ્યમે કરી જીવને ભક્તિની પ્રાપ્તિ થાય એવી ભગવાનના ચરણોમાં, ભાગવતજીના ચરણોમાં પ્રાર્થના કરતા વાણીને વિરામ આપતા સૌને જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ, જય માતાજી. શૈલેષ ગોર, SHAILESHGOR, ભાગવત વિદ્યાપીઠ સોલા, અમદાવાદ અને હાલ ઉમિયાધામ એડિસન ખાતેથી સૌને નમસ્કાર.
જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. ઉમિયાધામ ઉમિયા મંદિર એડિસનમાં મહારાજ શ્રી શાસ્ત્રીજી શૈલેષભાઈ ગોર એમણે એવો સરસ મજાનો મોકો આપ્યો. હું ઇન્ડિયાથી આવું છું, રાણા કરણસિંહ ગનુભા. અહીંયા ભજન ગાવાનો જે મને મોકો મળે, જે મને મળ્યો એ શાસ્ત્રીજીનો આભાર. મારા સંગીતા સાથી મનોજભાઈ લાલાણી, રિધમ કિંગ જેને કહેવાય અમેરિકાનું, આવા સરસ મજાના સંગાથીઓ સાથે આ ભજન કરવાનો જે મને મોકો, જે મને મળ્યો એ હું મારા જીવનને હું ધન્ય માનું છું. જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ, જય માતાજી, જય ભાગવતજી.
Hello, my name is Arvind Patel, the president of Umyadham. We have the Bhagavad Katha since 8th day. Today is the last day, Purnahuti day. And today we have more than 300 devotees joined with us. And they all get the prasadi. And our volunteers and everybody make it this happen. And this all krupa of God. And thank you very much to join with us. And Jai Bhagwan, Jai Krishna, Jai Mataji.
જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. હું ચૈતાલી વાછાણી ઉમિયાધામમાં ઉમિયા મહિલા મંડળની એક સભ્ય છું અને આજે તમને કહું કે શું આનંદ લીધો અમે. 22 ઓગસ્ટથી 29 ઓગસ્ટ સુધી અહીંયા ભાગવત સપ્તાહનું સ્થાપન થયું હતું. બધાએ ધામધૂમથી ભાગ લીધો અને જે મજા આવી શાસ્ત્રીજીના મુખેથી ગીતા જ્ઞાન લેવાની એની તો તમને અનુભવ કહું તો મારાથી શક્ય નથી. જ્યારે કૃષ્ણ લીલાઓ સાંભળી અમે શાસ્ત્રીજીના મુખેથી ત્યારે તો એવું થયું કે હે ખાન રસિયો રૂપાળો રંગ રેલિયો, ઘેર જાવું તો ગમતું જ નથી. પણ ઘરે જતા હતા અને રોજે રોજ કથાનું અમૃતપાન કરવા અમે આવતા હતા. કુરુક્ષેત્રની વાત જ્યારે શાસ્ત્રીજીએ કરી ત્યારે એવું અમને મનમાં થયું કે અમને એ જ ઉપદેશ મળે છે કે હે કૃષ્ણ, તમે છો મારા જીવન રથના સારથી. હવે આ રથ અમે તમારા હાથે સોંપ્યો છે, તમે અમારી નૈયાને પાર લગાવો. અમારા મંદિરના શાસ્ત્રીજી શૈલેષભાઈ એ તો જ્ઞાન, ગમ્મત અને સંગીતના ત્રિવેણી સંગમ છે. ગીતાનું અને ભાગવતનું જે જ્ઞાન અઘરું છે સમજવું એ એમણે બહુ સરળ ભાષામાં અમને સમજાવ્યું. હવે તો આ સપ્તાહ દર વર્ષે થાય એવી મનોકામના છે અને આ બધા સ્વયંસેવક ભાઈઓ બહેનોની મદદથી જે કાર્ય પાર પડ્યું, ઈશ્વર આગળ પણ એવી જ રીતે અમારા ઉપર કૃપાઓ કરે અને દર વર્ષે અમે ભાગવત સપ્તાહનું આવી રીતે આયોજન કરીએ. જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. ઉમિયા માત કી જય.
Well, we have a lot more on the other side of the break. Stay with us on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be right back. And welcome back. I'm Aditi Lama, and this is Vision of Asia South Asia News segment. More on coronavirus updates. An advisory panel to the US CDC unanimously has recommended that the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for people aged 16 and older. It is an important step that could help accelerate vaccine mandates here in the United States. The FDA last week granted full approval to the same vaccine, which has now allowed the shots to be rolled out rapidly to Americans. Health officials hope that this recommendation from the CDC and the formal approval by the FDA will spur more Americans to get vaccinated, with some companies and states now beginning to have vaccine mandates. This comes as several parts of the country still remain low in vaccination rates, contributing to a big surge in hospitalizations. Meanwhile, on vaccine booster shots, the CDC is considering an approach that would focus on preventing severe disease among the most at risk and healthcare workers. On this and much more, we spoke with ITV Go's senior health expert, Dr. Tushar Patel. Here is Dr. Patel. How are you observing the current number of cases and deaths in the country? We're looking at about 100,000 hospitalizations per day right now in the United States. Why has this happened, and who do you attribute the most amount of this issue to?
So, I was telling this before as well. The pandemic right now is one of the most infectious phase respiratory virus we know, and that I have personally experienced in my 3 decades of public health. The Delta variant is beginning to reverse the progress we have made, and some of the facts we already have that a lot of people are not still vaccinated fully, and that is the most concerning thing. Some of the states are under 40% of vaccination rates. Alabama, Mississippi, Wyoming, Arkansas, and state goes on. And I think those are the most contributing factors for this Delta variant spread and also getting this pandemic not under control.
Right, and these states that you just mentioned, Dr. Patel, I'd like to ask you, I'm sure you have colleagues that work there, that are in the hospitals there. What kind of news are you getting from there? Are they as overwhelmed as we are hearing?
It is actually very concerning. Some of the states, South Carolina, southern states, I would say Alabama, Florida, they are out of ICU beds right now. They have lack of oxygen supply in the hospitals, which never happened in the US before. So those are the most concerning thing right now with this pandemic, that lack of bed, lack of resources, especially the oxygen. And if the oxygen is not there, you cannot save the patients.
Yeah, when we are looking at these hospitalizations, doctor, interesting factor here, children and adults under the age of 50 are now at their highest peak in cases of COVID-19 as hospitalizations. Why is that happening?
Because, the population younger than 18 years of age, only 14% of kids are fully vaccinated.
Oh, wow.
So about 86% of those kids are not fully vaccinated. And that is the whole reason we are not having good time with this pandemic.
You know, this brings me to my next question. When you are looking at states in the Northeast versus the state in the South, can both the states affect each other? Are we all in trouble collectively right now?
Absolutely, unless federal government comes with some kind of guideline that no one can travel without the proof of vaccination, air travel, bus travel, train travel, then it will be a different scenario. But as of right now, everything is open and free to travel in this country, and that is the most concerning thing when we are very close to the fall months and the winter, probably within next few months.
So how are you looking at some of these states then, doctor, that are banning mask mandates or banning vaccine mandates in businesses or in schools? How dangerous could that get?
It will be very, very dangerous comes this winter. I think we'll have a reality check in next few months. And I think we will probably see worst case scenario than we initially started last year with this pandemic. So I think we all need to follow the science. We all need to follow the public health recommendations. And at this time, we are like in a war zone, and we have to listen to our commander, which is the CDC.
So will you compare this to New York City when it was the epicenter, or is it worse?
I think it is worse because we are used to of this pandemic, so that's why people are not that panicking. But the things in southern states are much worse than what we had last year in New York and New Jersey area.
What do you think these governors have to do right now, doctor, especially in the states of Florida, Texas, Alabama?
Governors needs to start taking the steps to protect their citizens, and whatever it takes for them, mask mandates, ask for the vaccination proof, all those mitigating factors definitely will help. Otherwise this can go, because Florida, Texas, those are bigger states, and if they don't take care of them right now, comes fall and winter months, they will definitely will be in a bigger trouble.
So let's talk about this debate on schools, doctor. What do you think needs to be implemented in a classroom, in a school setting, according to you, regardless, like, are you looking at full mask? Are you looking at vaccine mandates? Are you still looking at 6 to 3 feet distance between, students? What is the safest way to do this?
So mask mandate is the first thing. The mask mandate, those people who are kids and the teachers who are eligible to get the vaccine, they need to ask for the proof of vaccination. That's number one. Mask mandate is the second thing, and the third thing is social distancing. All those three steps needs to be taken for the safe operations of the school, because I think, again, I'm reiterating the fact that the winter months bring a lot of other viruses, not only the coronavirus, but the flu virus and other respiratory viruses, which can become very tricky to identify what individual is going through.
Parents are protesting against the mask mandates. They worry for some reason about their kids wearing masks. Can you address that? And what do we say to those parents?
Parents need to understand that, like I say, 15% of kids under 18s are fully vaccinated right now. Unless we reach that 50, 60, 70% mark, they need to follow the guideline, follow the guidance from the public health officials, the local and state officials. And if they don't do it, probably they will risk their kids, risk their loved ones going into the school, ending up in ICU, and ultimately death. So I think it's the message should be very clear for the parents who don't understand the science, that the virus is based on the science and not on any other aspect. So everyone needs to listen to the public health official and follow the guidelines right now.
Yeah, definitely. And then for our audience, again, 12 and above are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Patel, how are you looking at children under the age of 12? When can we expect their vaccine? And also, I'd like to know about babies as well, from the age of 6 months to 2 years.
So the good news will be coming in within 4 to 6 weeks, end of September, early October, for the kids between 5 and 12. That vaccination should get emergency use authorization in that time frame. The kids below 5 and from 6 months to 5 years of age, we still may see a few months before we get that authorization. So the good news is coming within next 4 to 6 weeks, but I think next 4 to 6 weeks probably will end the summer months, and it will become very tricky for us to manage this pandemic.
With this, we wrap up our show for the night. Please send us your suggestions and get your voices and organizations on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on our Facebook handle @itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight from Queens, New York. This is Vision of Asia, and I am Diti Lamba. Take care and be well.